Money shapes our world, but not all money is equal. Fiat currencies like the US dollar and Indian rupee have long dominated control by governments and banks. Yet they are losing trust due to inflation, mismanagement, and exclusion. Enter Bitcoin, a digital currency that's challenging the old system. Bitcoin's advantage over fiat, showing how its unique features could reshape finance for the better. From freedom to security to global reach, Bitcoin offers hope where fiat fails. Decentralization and autonomy. Fiat currencies like the dollar and the rupee are run by central authorities. Governments and banks they decide how much money to print and when, often to fix short-term problems. Take the US Federal Reserve. It pumped 4 trillion into the economy during the 2020 pandemic through quantitative easing. Sounds helpful, but it devalues the dollar over time. In India, the Reserve Bank of India controls the rupee similarly, sometimes printing more to cover debts, like the 20% increase in money supply during the 2020-2021 pandemic. Bitcoin is different. It runs on a decentralized network, thousands of computers worldwide, not one boss. No government or bank can meddle. Its rules are set by code and agreed upon by users, not politicians. This means no sudden money printing or policy shifts. For example, while the dollar's value bends on US elections or Fed decisions, Bitcoin stays steady under its own system. Financial sovereignty. With fiat, you are at the mercy of the middleman. Sending dollars abroad, banks charge fees, sometimes 5 to 7%, and it takes days. In India, transferring rupees over can cost even more, with delays up to a week. Bitcoin cuts that out. You control your money directly. Want to send Bitcoin to a friend in Nigeria? It's done in minutes. No banks needed. This freedom, sending, receiving, or storing value without permission, is what fiat can't offer. It's your money, your rules. Limited supply and deflationary nature. Fiat currencies bleed value. The US dollar has lost 96% of its purchasing power since 1913, when the Federal Reserve began. In 2022 alone, US inflation hit 9.1%, the highest in 40 years, shrinking what a dollar buys. Indian rupee fares worse. It's depreciated 80% against the dollar since 1947, with inflation averaging 6 to 8% yearly. Why? Government prints more money. India's money supply grew 11.5% in 2022-2023, diluting the rupee's worth. Bitcoin fights this. It's capped at 20 million coins forever. No one can print more. This scarcity makes it immune to inflation. While fiat's flood market, Bitcoin supply tightens over time through halving events. Every 4 years, new Bitcoin issuance drops by half. The next halving in 2028 will cut rewards again, keeping it rare. In hyperinflation zones like Venezuela, which is having 1,700% inflation in 2018, Bitcoin has been a lifeline, holding value where fiat collapses. Hedge against devaluation. Fiat's endless printing punishes savers. A dollar saved in 2000 buys 40% less today. India's rupee lost 50% of its value against gold from 2010 to 2020. Bitcoin through volatile trends upwards. From 1% from $1 in 2011 to $69,000 in 2021. Its growth outpaced fiat decay. In 2023, with dollar inflation at 3.1% and rupee at 5.5%, Bitcoin rose 150%. It's not just a currency, it's a shield against fiat's downfall. Scarcity and store of value. Gold has been store of value for centuries because it's rare. Fiat isn't. Dollar and rupee lose worth yearly. $1 in 1913 equals to 0.0% dollar, 0.04 dollar today. And 1 rupee 1 rupee 1947 buys just rupees 0.02 now. Bitcoin mimics gold scarcity but lives online. With only 21 million coins possible, it's digital gold. Unlike fiat, its purchasing power grows. Between 2010 and 2020, Bitcoin's value soared 9 million percent, while the dollar shrank 25% in real terms. Wealth preservation. Investors see this. Fiat savers lose $10,000 in a US bank in 2000 is worth $6,000 today, adjusted for inflation. In India, $10,000 from 2010 buys half of much now. Bitcoin holders win. $10,000 invested in 2030 hit $1.5 million in 2021. Even in 2025, the fiat crumbling under debt. US national debt is 34 trillion dollars and India's is 155 trillion rupees. Bitcoin offers a way to protect wealth. It's not perfect, but it beats fiat's slow bleed. Security and transparency. Fiat systems are fragile. 2021, US banks reported 4,000 plus data breaches, exposing millions to fraud. India's 2022 credit card leaked hit to 8 million users. Centralized databases where fiat lives are hacking targets. Bitcoin's blockchain is different. A public ledger secured by cryptography and a global network of miners. Each transaction is locked by proof of work, making it nearly impossible to crack. No single point of failure exists, unlike dollar's resilience on the Fed or the rupee on the RBI. Immutable transactions. Fiat Fiat fraud is rampant. Credit card chargebacks cost US merchants $11 billion in 2022. In India, online scams rose 28% in 2023 per RBI data. Bitcoin stops this. Once the transaction hits the blockchain, it's permanent. No reversals, no tricks. This cuts fraud and builds trust. With fiat, you're stuck with opaque banks. With Bitcoin, anyone can check the ledger. It's open, honest, and secure. Qualities fiat's lack. Global accessibility and financial inclusion. Sending fiat across the border is a nightmare. A $100 SWIFT transaction from US costs $25 and takes 1 to 5 days. Sending 10,000 rupees from India to Dubai, fees hits 4 to 6% plus delays. Bitcoins moves instantly. $100 sent globally costs $0.5 via Lightning Network in 2025. Arriving in seconds. No banks or borders. For migrant workers, Indians sent $111 billion home in 2022. Bitcoin slashes costs unlike fiat greedy middlemen. Empowering the unbanked. Over 1.4 billion adults worldwide lack bank accounts per the World Bank in 2021. In India, 190 million are unbanked. In the US, 5.4% of the households. Fiat needs banks, IDs, and fees, barriers for the poor. Bitcoin just needs a phone and an internet. In Nigeria, where the naira lost 50% value in 2023, Bitcoin trade spiked 60%. In Argentina, which had an inflation of 211% in 2024, it's a lifeline. Fiat excludes, Bitcoin includes. Adoption and mainstream integration. Merchant growth. Bitcoin's going mainstream. Microsoft, PayPal, and Tesla take it. In 2023, 36,000 merchants worldwide accepted Bitcoin, up 20% from 2022 from Coin Market Cap. Tools like BitPay make it easy. Tools like BitPay make it easy. A $1 billion in transaction in 2024. Fiat still the king, but its fees, for example, 3% credit card charges, push businesses towards Bitcoin. In India, where cash ruled, crypto payments grew 400% from 2020 to 2023 despite RBI hurdles. Institutional backing. Big players trust Bitcoin. MicroStrategy, which holds more than 500,000 Bitcoins valued at around $40 billion, Square and Grayscale poured billions in calling it digital gold. Bitcoin ETFs launched in 2021 manage $50 billion. Meanwhile, fiat falters. US debt to GDP hit 120% in 2024, India's 85%. As fiat wobbles, Bitcoin gains ground. Challenges and future outlook. Bitcoin's price swing down 30%, then up 50% in 2024 scares some, but it's maturing. Volatility dropped from 80% in 2018 to 40% in 2025. Fiat stable but loses value quietly. Scalability improves too. The Lightning Networks handles 20 million transactions in 2024. Fast and cheap, Fiat stuck with slow, costly systems like Swift. Regulation. Government wrestles with Bitcoin. El Salvador made it legal tender in 2021, boosting GDP by 10%. The EU's MICA regulates it similarly, but fiat defaulters like the US and India resist. India's 30% crypto tax and dollar's dominance slow progress. Still, Bitcoin adapts where fiat regulates. Conclusion. Bitcoin's decentralized heart, fixed 21 million supply, a global reach crush fiat's weakness. Dollar and rupee drown in debt, inflation, and control. The 34 trillion US dollar debt and 155 trillion rupees in liabilities, respectively. Bitcoin's not perfect, but its adoption, that is 19 million wallets in 2020 and 81 million wallets in 2025, and tech upgrades signal a future where it could replace fiat. As trust in dollars and rupee fades, that is 96% and 80% lost value over decades, Bitcoin shines as a freedom, security, and hope. Fiat's days are numbered. Bitcoin's just beginning.